So I saw Toy Story 4 yesterday, and I kind of told myself on the way home I wasn't going to make a video about it, but I have so many different emotions to it, and I hate to say it, most of them are pretty negative. If you like Toy Story, if you like Pixar, well, mainly if you like Woody, sure, go for it, watch the movie. That's as much of a non-spoiler I can give you. If you like Woody, go watch the movie. If you like any of the other toys, maybe you can skip it. I'm 18, almost 19, so I'm like prime age for this movie, right? Because I grew up watching Toy Story 1, I grew up watching Toy Story 2, and I plugged the heartstrings at Toy Story 3, and I knew in a few years' time, following that movie, I was gonna have that Andy moment, at the end of the movie, obviously. And Toy Story 4, I told myself the entire time, don't be cynical. Don't be cynical. Wait for the movie. And trust me, I know I can be a cynical asshole sometimes. But I told myself, don't be cynical. Don't be cynical. Don't be cynical. And I was at the end. And it sucked. So yeah, as far as non-spoilers, there you go. That's your non-spoiler. If you want to see Toy Story, aka if you want to see Woody, go watch it. Otherwise, don't. But yeah, on to like the actual spoilers now. So, Toy Story 4 is a difficult one to get through for me, especially knowing the hype going into the movie. Like, on the one hand, I get that I'm not a kid, so obviously that kind of stuff won't resonate with me that much anymore. But even then, like, I love most Pixar movies still, so I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's just the movie wasn't that really good, especially since, like, again, with the hype thing, you know, there were rumors about, like, Tim Allen crying, actually physically crying, couldn't get through his lines when recording the movie. And so maybe just going in, I was like, I'm waiting for it. When's the moment? Something bad's gonna happen, something's gonna cry. And there was a little bit of some teary stuff, and mainly it was like the beginning of the movie, pretty much. Like in the first few minutes, Bo Peep leaves, I guess you could say. Just kind of like kicked off the team almost, and that's what wrote her out of Toy Story 3. But then like obviously I knew she was going to come back anyways, so the moment was taken away just knowing the advertising of the movie. Like, if they didn't even advertise Bo Peep being in it, if they just advertised Forky, which personally I'm not a huge fan of the character Forky, I'll get onto that in a little bit. If they didn't advertise Bo Peep, right, and if they just showed, hey, this is why she wasn't in Toy Story 3, and then it played into Bo Peep coming back and stuff, then maybe I would have been like, oh my god, are you serious? That's why she's left and stuff. But no. Like, because I knew she was going to be back. Okay, next real complaint about it is Woody. Now, because you think of the toys as they're all like a unit. You know, Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head, Rex, Buzz, Jessie, Bullseye, and Woody, and all the toys. You think of them as one entity almost. But this movie was kind of just, it's Woody. We have Woody, and he's the main focus. And on one hand, I kind of get that. Like, I kind of get Woody having the struggle, the deal with not having Andy anymore. I get that. However, none of the other toys have Andy either. Besides Buzz, as far as we know, everybody else has been with Andy his entire life. So why is Woody the only one who's having this sort of issue? Look, I get that the voice actor of Mr. Potato Head, Don Rickles, sadly passed away while in production for the movie, so I get, they can't really use Mr. Potato Head that much. They kind of just used past lines that they already had. But still, like, Rex, who seems to be kind of like the B+ player in terms of the toys. Like, there's Buzz, Woody, and then it's like Rex and Slinky. Like, they're not sad about Andy either. They're just like, nah, man, we've got Bonnie now. What? I didn't get that. I didn't get why Woody's the only one having this issue, or at least the only one that they explained would have this issue. You think Jessie, of all people, would have a huge issue and would be incredibly sad still, considering She was literally saved in Toy Story 2. That was her entire arc. She was saved from being put in the box, as they called it. So you'd think Jessie as well would be all sad about this with Woody, but I guess not. I guess you could say Woody was the only focus of the movie. Bo Peep as well, I guess, but I would have never called her like a super beloved character, at least not on the level as Buzz, who, I guess Buzz is just an idiot now, considering, you know, he had this like inner voice throughout the entire movie. That was the joke, but why does he not know how to process thoughts now? I mean, his literal arc in Toy Story 1 was processing the thought of him not being a space ranger. So he has those inner thoughts. He has those voices in his head. Why is this suddenly a character development moment for him? Because he doesn't know how to think properly. Woody pretty much took up like 90% of the movie, and it felt about halfway they were like, Buzz isn't really doing anything. None of the other toys are doing anything. So we should kind of start doing stuff with that. And like no progression for them really happened. Nothing really happened with them. Like they were pretty much non-existent in the movie. But yeah, okay, so let's move on to the actual new characters now, considering I keep trying to segue into it. First off, the stuffed animal dudes, I don't remember their names because I don't really care about them. They, again, seem almost non-existent in the movie. Like, they are only there for a single joke. That's it. They're only there for a single joke. The biker dude who had, you know, his kid flashbacks, his PTSD kid flashbacks, he's like my only favorite new character because he had an actual character arc. Okay? That's amazing. He had a character arc. Something this movie genuinely lacked. But yeah, the stuffed animals were kind of there for a joke. They didn't necessarily seem like they mattered at all. I don't know. They just are kind of there for one scene that you literally could have just not had in the movie. You could have cut the runtime a bit. That's why they're there, to add to the runtime. They have like a joke for 3.5 minutes at least, saying the same joke over and over again. Being like, isn't this funny? Toys aren't meant to be alive, so let's make the joke that someone, like an old lady, gets attacked. Isn't it hilarious? Let's keep saying the joke now. The joke kind of wore thin with me a little bit. But now let's move on to the character. Going in, I was the most invested in. I was like, I need to know everything about this character. He's going to be a mainstay in the series. I really want to know how the hell he's alive. And obviously, I'm talking about Forky, Sporky, Spoonie, whatever you want to freaking call him. Forky, I guess is his name. He makes no sense. Literally, they didn't explain anything at all. Anything at all about him until the post-credit scene. You had to wait till the post-credit scene to realize why he's alive. And you know what they said? We don't know. They literally said that. They literally asked him, how are you alive? And he's like, I don't know. Oh, look, we have another one now who's a knife. A plastic knife is now a toy. And the plastic knife is like, why am I not trash? And he's just like, I don't know. That's the final line. That's the line of the movie right there for me. I don't know. I don't know why they made it. I love Toy Story, but this is just a cash grab. It sucks. I wanted so badly to say it wasn't a cash grab, but it's a cash grab. Toy Story 3, in my head, is the end of the series. Toy Story 4, it's one of those side stories, you know, like the weird Christmas episodes, the weird Christmas specials. It's like a side story. Woody leaving the toys is not it just doesn't feel like the end, okay? The story was always between Andy and the toys. It was never the story between Woody and the toys, and Woody being the dominant leader. That was never the story. At least in my opinion. I could have been completely wrong. I could kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's just not the story. Andy leaving was the story. Seeing the arc of Andy's life as Woody, Buzz, all of them are worried about Andy. That's the story. Gabby, who I guess is the villain, makes sense kind of as a... Nah, she doesn't make much sense as a villain. What does she want? She wants a voice box so she can have a friend. But in the end, she just helps a girl find her family, which honestly is the only emotional moment I had in the movie. Truly, that was the one moment my eyes were watering up a bit. Okay, I'll say that. But besides that, no, nothing else. And it was mainly because the chick needed to get back to her family. It was literally just the Riley moment, the Riley ending from Inside Out, done again. That's it. That's the emotional moment of the movie. Okay, the moment I guess this movie is trying to portray is either the weird Riley replay moment from Inside Out, which I doubt because it has nothing to do with the characters, or it's with Woody and Buzz separating, which again does not feel like the definitive ending to me. Tell me in the comments what you actually thought of this movie. In my opinion, it feels like a cash grab. The only really awesome moment, the only moment I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, is an Easter egg. That's the only moment. And I won't spoil the Easter egg if you haven't seen it. But it's from a Pixar short thing that eventually created Toy Story, at least in their minds. You know what I mean? So if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm saying. However, otherwise, that's it for me. That's all I had. I went into it wanting to love the movie, but I just don't. And yeah, feels like my childhood is now officially at an end, because Toy Story 4 has just become a cash grab at this point. Sucks.